Well, hello, rock tumbling fanatics, Lapidary lovers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, today, in a lot of these, what am I tumbling today? I'm usually going for what's in the back there. And you haven't seen me do much with what's in the front. These two tumblers in the front. Well, these two tumblers up front here have been working on a special project, actually a couple of special projects, for well over a month. Probably closer to a month and a half, 2 months. Been having a lot of trouble with them. There's some tough to tumble stones in here, and I've been having just all kinds of issues with them, but I think I may have cracked the code, and I think we might be getting close to figuring out at least the rough stage of tumbling with these rocks. So what have I got in here? Well, I won't make you wait till after I clean them out. I'll just tell you up front. We got some leopard skin Jasper over here in the small 3-pound tumbler. And over here, we've got some Turritella Agate. Okay? So I've been having a lot of trouble with both of them, but I think they're finally starting to look pretty good in the rough stage. So I'm going to empty out the tumblers, rinse off the rocks, and we'll take a look at them under the bench lights and see if they are ready to move on or not. And we'll talk a little bit about the trouble I've been having with these two different types of stones and what I think some of the issues are and how I got past them. Okay, so let me get to work dumping these out and cleaning them up. Okay, we're going to look at the leopard skin Jasper first. And yes, there's more than just leopard skin Jasper in that tumbler, and there's a story behind why there's some amethyst in here. Okay, and I will tell that story, but let's have a look at a few pieces of this leopard skin Jasper. This stuff is looking pretty darn good. Let me get a good focus on it. Yeah, this is nice and smooth and beautiful and ready to move on from rough grit to medium grit. So I'm going to throw this in a bucket of water over here. Keep it wet until I can get those through an ultrasonic tank to clean them up. Here's another piece. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, super smooth, certainly ready to move on. All right, so the problem I was having, and I'm going to keep these wet while I'm talking, was that the leopard skin Jasper has Jasper spots in some sort of matrix. And the problem I was having tumbling these just by themselves, basically, was that the matrix was undercutting. Basically, it was cutting away faster than the leopard spots, and they were standing proud. And these things were all lumpy. That one's ready to go. So I tried using tumbling media with them, which is something I don't normally do during the rough stage. And really, it didn't help. I tried soft tumbling media, and that just didn't do anything. And well, I know from experience that the amethyst is a fairly soft rock. Okay, and I thought, well, this is going to be a lot harder than the soft plastic tumbling media. Let me try it. So my buddy Jim recently sent me a whole bunch of this amethyst. And so I threw a handful of amethyst in the tumbler with the leopard skin Jasper and let it go for a week or so. And well, now everything is just gorgeous. It's all nice and smooth. It's not lumpy anymore. The leopard spots seem to be at the same level as the matrix. And everything is super smooth. So I would say that's ready to move on. That's ready to move on. Yeah, these are just gorgeous. And I have a video where I bought this leopard skin Jasper. Yeah, I got really sick just before the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show this year, and I wasn't able to go. So just sort of as like a consolation prize, a little bit of retail therapy, I bought myself some rocks online. And the leopard skin Jasper was some of the rocks I bought. And yeah, I've been having terrible trouble tumbling it, but now it's looking like we're on the right track. So yeah, that looks really nice. I think all these pieces are good. I think they're all going in the bucket to move forward. So yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at the pattern on that. I love that. That is gorgeous. As I was walking over here, the wind blew some stuff out of the trees in my into my colander. Yeah, nice. Oh, look at the pattern on that one. Wow. Is there any wonder they call it leopard skin jasper? That like a leopard's pelt. That. Okay, so I think these are all ready to move on. And even though a lot of these, even though a lot of these amethysts are not ready to move on, I think I'm going to move them ahead as tumbling media for the next stage too. All right, because I have just a literal ton of this stuff that my buddy Jim sent me. I mean, that one is probably ready to move on to the next stage, but most of these aren't. Yeah, that one could tumble some more. That one could move on. But I think I'm going to move them all on anyway, just as tumbling media for medium grit, just because this is working so well in the rough grit. Hopefully, we'll keep the good times rolling all the way to polish on this leopard skin jasper. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gather up all this stuff and throw it in the bucket, and we'll give it all a cleaning in the ultrasonic cleaner. Oh, there's another little piece of leopard skin down there. And we'll get it back in the tumbler with some medium grit and get it rolling again. So let me find my ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll get that stuff cleaned up. Okay, I got them in my ultrasonic cleaner. In goes a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid. Let's turn on the ultrasonics. Oh, wow. Look at the mud coming off. I just love how this thing works, how well it works. And yeah, some of those amethyst pieces had some pretty deep cracks and fissures in them, and I'm sure they are just full of mud. But 45 minutes or so in the ultrasonic cleaner, that should get them all cleaned out. And then these rocks should be ready to move on to medium grit. Okay, so while this is running for the next 45 minutes or so, let me go clean out the other tumbler, and we'll take a look at the Turritella Agate in there. All right, so the Tortilla Agate is sort of a different story here. If you're unfamiliar with Tortilla Agate, it's a rock that comes from Wyoming. There's a lot of it near Wamsutter, Wyoming. It may be in other places too. Most of it I'm aware of comes from Wamsutter. And it's basically got a whole bunch of little mollusk shells in it, or I don't know, mollusk gastropod anyway, shells in it. But basically it's a fossil. So the backstory is I had a big slab of this stuff, and I'll show you a picture of a slab or two of this. I still have some slabs that I could polish or make cabs out of. Yeah, so here's some of the Turritella Agate I have that I want to try and make cabs out of. This is better quality stuff, not so fissured. Here's a little thin piece I bought at a rock shop for all of $5, but look at all the shells in there. Wow, that is really amazing. Make some amazing cabs out of that. And then, I've got some other pieces I've cut off of this big chunk over here, trying to find the right angle to cut to get the best view of the shells, because, well, they kind of line up in there. So I've been working at trying to get the best angle on it, and haven't quite found it yet, but I do have a couple of pieces here that have some nice shell exposure on them. So yeah, this is what it looks like when it's not all in little tiny chunks, like in the tumbler there. But I had one slab that was all fissured up and broken up, and there wasn't really much I could do with it, so I just lifted it up in the air, dropped it on the ground, and broke it into a bunch of pieces, because I knew that's what was going to happen anyway. And I said, let me try tumbling all these pieces. So, being worried that this stuff was really soft, and that the shells would undercut, grind away quicker than the matrix. I was really, really careful with these. I didn't mix any other kinds of rocks in with them. I just tumbled them with themselves. And after a few weeks or a month, it's like, hey, there's not much happening here, okay? This stuff must be harder than I thought. I actually pulled a few of these out and ground on them a little bit with my redneck flat lap just to try and expose some of the shell features there and round the edges a little bit because nothing much was happening. I mean, they were getting a little bit rounded, but on the whole, nothing much was happening. There's a nice example right there. Um, so obviously, this stuff is harder than I thought. It's also possible I've underfilled the tumbler, and there's a couple of possibilities there. But I don't think, for the most part, that this stuff is ready to move forward to the next grit. Some of the ones I've ground on are really close. Like this one here, I've ground on with the flat lap and exposed the nice shell detail on both sides and tried to round the edges a little bit. But still, it's rough. And a lot of these are still rough-ish. They're just not smoothing out and rounding out at a rate I am happy with. So I think I'm going to try the trick that I used with the leopard skin Jasper. I think I'm going to put these back in the tumbler and I'm going to add some amethyst to it, a fairly soft rock. We'll get a better load in the tumbler, and hopefully in another week or so, these will be ready to move on to medium grit. That having that amethyst in there as tumbling media will help smooth these things out. Some of these things I think are going to be really gorgeous once they are smoothed out. They're just a little rough yet. So let me go find that bag of amethyst Jim sent me, and we'll refill the tumbler and get it spinning again. Okay, I hope you can hear me okay over that ultrasonic in the background. It's quite loud to me. So I'm going to put all this stuff back in the tumbler drum. Get out of here, Ant. Go away. And yeah, I think I might have also been underfilling the drum a little bit. I'm going to leave all these little pieces out. They're worthless. And I'm going to put some of this amethyst in here that my buddy Jim sent me. A couple good handfuls anyway. And I will check on this after only, a few days, and again after a week maybe, just to make sure that the tumbling action isn't too strong. I'm going to leave that one out. That one's a little big. Let's find some smaller ones here. Because I don't want to grind that Turritella Agate away entirely. I just want to smooth it out. So I'll be real conservative and check on it, like I said, after a couple of days. All right, let me get some water and some grit in there. Goes the water. Not too much. And some rough grit. 60. Really rough grit. I'm going to put 3 spoonfuls in and leave it at that. And we will lid this up and start this spinning again and see what happens to that Turritella Agate over the next few days or a week. All right, the ultrasonic cleaner has done its thing. I will take these rocks out of here in this basket and rinse them off. And one question I get is, does my ultrasonic cleaner have a heater in it? And if so, what do I set it to? Well, the answer is no, it does not have a heater per se. But after 45 minutes of running, the water is quite warm just from all the energy being dumped into it by the ultrasonic transducers. So I really don't think you need a heater for this, unless you're working in sub-zero temperatures, maybe. But yeah, I don't really think a heater is necessary, because this one, without its a dedicated heater, this is an old Branson unit here, works great. So don't think you've got to buy one of the fancy schmancy ultrasonics with a heater in it. Just get yourself a basic one, and I think you'll be amazed at how well it cleans up your rocks. Okay, let me get these rinsed off so we can get them back in the barrel and spin it again. Man, that leopard skin Jasper is pretty. I hope I can get it all the way through polish and have it look like this. That would be great. So I'm going to put, like I said before, I'm going to put the amethyst in here too, even though a lot of it is not ready to go on to medium grit. I'm just going to throw it in here as tumbling media to sort of fill out the barrel. So the main question I have now, we're getting into uncharted territory, is normally I would be using some extra tumbling media in here once I got beyond the rough stage. So I've got some ceramic media here. I would normally use a sort of scrap agate media that my buddy Jim sells. But I think I'm going to, for this application, I think I'm going to put in a little bit of this ceramic stuff, because I've been seeing other people tumble soft stuff and having really good luck with the ceramic media. And I've been having trouble mixing agate with soft rocks, so we're just going to put some of this stuff in here and see how it goes. I know a lot of people complain about this stuff being expensive and wearing away so quickly, so I'm thinking this might be a little bit softer than the agate that I would normally use as tumbling media. All right, maybe another little handful, and we'll leave it at that. Water. I'm gonna not put in a whole lot of water. I may even dump some of that off. Like a nice thick slurry to form. That seems to be the key to getting a good polish on soft rocks, having a nice thick slurry from what I've been seeing. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of grit in here. I'm just going to put like 2 spoonfuls of 220 in here. And just like the Turritella Agate, I'm going to check on this after a few days and make sure that we don't have undercutting going on. And check on it again after a week if it's going okay. And we'll see what we will see. So I've cracked the rough stage of tumbling this stuff, but we're still experimenting when it comes to the finer grit stages. So this could still go sideways. Hope not, but we will see. So let me get these 2 drums back on tumbling. Today is March 27th. This one's still in rough. This one here is in medium. And we will start them up running. I will check on them in a couple of days. And so keep your fingers and toes crossed out there, and hopefully everything's just gonna work. All right, well, thanks for watching this video. If you found it at all interesting, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.